Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Depths, back with more Crisscross Chronicles Sagas. Now, this begins the start of part 3 of this walkthrough, and I've done a few more things. Typically learned some more skills for everybody. Nothing too major to really go over because it's just the same old as last time. But the main thing I'd try to do is actually get a little bit more diversity in skills. Like, I have Kazia being able to use status effects. I have Terra mainly focusing a little bit more towards magic, and the rest of being a buffer. Kazuka and Rave and Eri, they're all attackers. That's the thing, if you build up your characters, try to build up their stats evenly, but try to build up their skills differently, at least until you're able to just get everything. Because when it's all said and done, you actually boosted up everybody. The only thing that really should be different is HP, because of how everybody's actually got their own little values. No matter how much you try to increase it, it will never be the same because of this. But at the same time, their stats will all eventually max out. Like, MP will max out, their strength, their agility, all of that type of stuff. But the thing is, you will never, ever hit the true max on speed. Ever. Because of how it works, you'll most likely get in around, like, maybe 900 to 1,000. When the real limit is just the same as the strength, defense, and magic and all the other ones. But you will see the true max on those eventually. You probably could see the true max on HP, but it's going to take forever to do so. Because even with the strongest up item and then a boost from the stuff that's in the game that's more powerful than anything else, again, I'll get to that much later. That one, HP is a very hard stat to max out. Due to how one of the scripts worked in the game, I actually had to have the max HP be the same for enemies and allies. So, that being said, strongest enemy in the game has billions of health, I think even trillions. But that also means yours can go up that high. So it'll be interesting to see that, but I will honestly admit that you don't need more than maybe 100 million HP, if that. And again, stuff will get better, so you'll actually be able to get huger stat boosts and all this other stuff. And we just went from one pawn to another, pretty much. Go figure. But we're not going to be here long, because we healed up and didn't even have to go to a fight. There's just a few more items. But I wasn't kidding when I said this is long. Very, very long. And there's another surprise. Amazingly, we haven't seen a new enemy yet ever since the last part. That's just how it is sometimes. You might find them immediately, you might not ever find them until you get into this next little area that's up here. But the main thing is just trying to survive. It's not that hard if you know what to do. But there's a definite reason why I had some people be able to use magic. Pretty much everybody. But some focused on it more. But this is your first glimpse of the third area that you're really going to have to spend some time exploring, which is called the Aqua Chapel. Now, right off the bat, you can talk to this woman. She mentioned what it is or whatever. She mentioned she's also looking for spirit water. Don't worry, you'll get more than one. Spirit water is used to move on, but you'll also be able to use it to get something from her. I'll explain that when it happens. Now, this uses a lot of the jumping mechanic on the first floor, but we're not going to do that yet. But before we get the chance to talk to somebody, we're in a fight apparently. These are the new enemies I was talking about. One's good for status effects, one's good for damage, and one's good for defense. You'll figure out which one, depending on that. And that's the definite damage one. Remember that attack ability you had? Yeah, that snake has it too. This is one of the first times you're going to see it used against you, so you might want to stock up on some survival potions. Because you're not surviving now unless you really buff up your stats. Now, in the case of attacking, you definitely want to take the snake out first. Now, it's best to try to keep characters up there healed up as much as possible, so I'm going to do that first. But there's a reason why I'm taking the scorpions for last. While they can use status effects and whatnot, the best way to damage them is through magic. They have a somewhat okay amount of magic defense. But the magic blast ability is how you really damage these guys. Get some MP potions too. You'll see what happens when you try to use an attack. Even your follow-ups won't do that much to them. That's because your follow-ups are based off of a stat that mixes strength with magic. And because of that high defense, they can't really do much of anything. But these guys also drop a lot of accessories. So if you want to use them, be my guest. But I sell them off because they're actually more useful that way. And this is where you meet the third Taguri sibling, who is Kazuya. She also comes with two of her friends of her own. And then advancing, you'll learn about Haruki, who's her, who's also a dangerous one. And then there's her, Maya. Now what makes this interesting is the fact that one of these three is the first time you'll see someone that was not affiliated to one specific element. But you have all 8 of your elemental characters. And then double checking the active party, they're all about a level 11. They have access to another tier of skills to learn too. But what you should know, right off the bat, Kizuna is electric. You now have a very strong attacker against those enemies. A lot of the enemies in this area are very, very weak to water. She's a good use against that. But at the same time, if she's hit with water, she'll take a lot of damage herself. Here's your fire user. And this one is the important one. She can use elements across the entire board. As such, she's not weak to any element, but more so she's weak to physical attacks. More so non-elemental ones at that. But she's definitely one of your best magic users, so she has the highest starting magic, and it just got boosted even further because of the fact that she starts at level 11. So while they'll be about as fast as your party, you still gotta boost up their stats in order to make them substantial, because everybody else has at least 10 times the HP of those guys. And that's where these come in. I had to count that out to try and make sure I had enough. Just for safety measures, we'll give her another one. That's exactly where I wanted all this stuff to be. Also keep in mind that normally everybody starts off at level 1, but because I did certain scripts, that bumps them up a certain amount of levels depending on when they jump in, and thus gives them free CP. I don't even use the luck ups. They'll just get boosted luck off of the all stuff. But resistance, I definitely want the magic people to get some resistance, so Kazuka's a little bit. Eri needs it, Raid needs it, Haruki needs it, and I'll give Kizuna one. In case the magic ups, the lower people in that end of the spectrum. So again, that's the same people. These guys can use multiple mana. And the last one I'll just get to low would be possible. Same case with the wipe up, or if not, the unicorn song. And I'll just keep everything else. But keep in mind, it's still weak against a few things too. You don't go back to town to actually boost up your stats. You're really going to want to go back at least to this little pond so you can heal up. Also, an interesting little trick too. If you hug a wall and move at the same time, it doesn't affect where you move on the enemy radar. Another little exploit that I'm actually intending on keeping in there. But now everybody's got some substantial stats. And I will in fact keep those work gloves on because I will get a pair for everybody. Including another character that's on the show later. You get one more character. But remember the dangers of these guys. These two specifically. The jellyfish are more status effective. Because it's jellyfish will say that you need to paralyze if you need to actually heal up. And I said paralyze, not stun. Simply get rid of the snakes as soon as possible. And then magic attack the crap out of the scorpion. And for that reason I have Criss get this turn. Because Terra's better at magic. And while it's not going to do too much, I guess I can have it before do it. Regardless of what happens, I'm keeping Casca into the party. And I know I'm poison. I just like living a little bit dangerously. Especially considering that this isn't too hard either. The poison is definitely more dangerous inside battle. But I hope you built up your MP. You will be using it system. And because of such a mechanic, don't even try going through this game without learning any skills. Just don't. Because eventually, while enemies still can take damage, like the scorpions can still take a little bit of physical damage, it doesn't change the simple fact that wetter enemies will just outright resist it entirely. There will be a few enemies that will fully resist magic or fully resist physical attacks, so that's where you really need to pay attention. You will not be able to get through the entire game without being attacked again, and without some spells, at the very least. So while no skill run is impossible, of one skill is. There's a paralysis. You are not coming out of that without an item. Or unless the fight's ended. Since this is 3 guys, that makes this easy. Now we need full power magic blast. Time to take them out. The other reason I'm trying to fight my way all the way back into town is to try to actually get a little bit of stuff that I can buy. And I'm actually hoping these guys show up because it makes the trip back faster. Because everybody's already sufficiently leveled. But I'm fighting a lot of water snakes. It's only a matter of time before one of them tries to attack the car. Case in point. he's going to kill off the for some reason. Yeah, I see people here. In this case, I'll use a mass revival. And I'll get rid of the death status effect off of you. I don't know why I had trouble saying that. And that's just a little bit better. Oh, running's not going to do too much anyways. These guys are currently a little bit faster, so that's going to make running a lot harder. And at the very least, I'd have to speed my party up in order to do a successful run, while slowing down them down. But just to show it off, you have the best chance of winning your race your agility when you roll with theirs. For some fun of this race, most likely. Keep in mind, when you do status effects, one arrow means that you got a buff in it, another means you got a substantial buff. But utilizing the reflex and sloth skills, you see that it made running a lot easier. It significantly ups your chances so much that you will most likely end up succeeding first attempt. If I tried to run normally, I probably would have had no chance of running from that fight. Oh, that's just unfair. And then he's poisoned. What do you have against Aqua? For that, he took another slot. I'm trying to get out of here. Even though I actually have to use something I actually feel I hope. There's a chance that might move it, but it doesn't. But since it's so easy to actually die. Not that one. That one. What happens when you have a very bad luck. This fight's taking way longer than it should have. Let's skip all that crap because I finally made it back. Rest up and good to go. But remember, this is the main reason why you want to come back here. This, which is very freaking cheap, and this. Done correctly, you can make a lot of money here. Just stay here and grind if you want to. Keep that in mind. But I'll be back after I've done a few things. Okay, and we're back. Finally made it back here. Everybody's been buffed up a little bit. Before I move on, I want to learn this skill for Narissa, because now's a good time to start getting it. Try to learn it on anybody that can. The interesting little thing about enemies is the fact that they all have set amounts of MP as well. Not the case with bosses, because even though there's MP as a set amount, they will eventually will have the ability to restore their MP back. And this is the point where they will actually start doing that. But anyway, now we're finally in this area, which gives them a fire after that. This is a little area that's heavily water themed, as I said before, so using this she'll be able to dish out a lot of damage, but she might take some too. But the main thing about this area is status effects, and the fact that she's not the only one using the heavy attack anymore. Well, actually, that's the deadly attack that the snake's using. So you will need survival potions. This is like the game's last little check to see if you've been paying attention. So as you've noticed, this is actually where the point where it's starting to get a little bit tricky. Depends on what you need to do. Also, it should be noticed that when you jump, it doesn't move the enemies on the map. Another big thing that should be mentioned too is the simple fact that upcoming bosses do not, I repeat, do not force a game over. But you will also not be able to move on until you clear them. So keep that in mind. It's just like the soul artifacts when the ASA fights. But I'll even point it out like this. Even though my stats are somewhat solid right now, which is like the upper 200, 300s marks, you're still going to want to actually get maybe a little bit more than that. But since I'm speed running this a little bit, I'll risk it. Because there's a major luck aspect in a future boss fight. But thankfully, I guess something that helps a little bit. And speaking of helping a little bit, that water brooch just came up. Guess who's getting that? Which means I can get somebody else a guard ring. Because I went back and bought a little bit more. Just for anybody that doesn't have a brooch. Akazaka and Criss is keeping theirs. Once you get here, save up. You may even want to heal up on some characters, but we'll wait until the menu opens the next time. And this is the last of the Taguri siblings, the oldest one, Atrame. Speaking of which, he also knows about Narissa's older sister, Saruria. Now, this one you gotta pay attention to three things. First off, you can heal up. I suggest you do so. It's like somewhat easy, but if you're unprepared, you'll get overtaken by this one. Not to mention, now the active party has changed. You are not allowed to use any of the other characters except these three. Make sure to have these three in there. The third thing you should also know, as I said before, you fail this fight, then well, you get the third again. I want to speed this way up. Now that I have this attack, boom. I got some more gloves, I got some more gloves, I got a vision mask, which helps against that freaking blind effect, which really annoys you because it'll mess up your accuracy. Yeah, it even irritates me. But, like I said, I put stuff in there intentionally just to make it tricky. It even gives you 4 restore elixirs, and a full restore elixir. If you feel like using them, there you go. I will keep you inactive. However, I will have to toss in another person to be active. Which has already been done. Good. But that's just the first of 3 boss fights. There's another water brooch if you want anybody to get some extra water protection. Give it to somebody like Kazia, and the damage is very, very laughable. That's if you ever get hit with a water spell. How much it does. I'm not gonna magic blast this guy. I'm gonna sparkle. Just as much as magic blast. You add another weakness against thunder? There's some more stuff over here. Might as well just grab it. Now's the point where you really gotta think a little bit on your feet about how the enemies will appear on the map. Hopefully I failed on that one because there is nowhere to maneuver in that section. And if anybody gets KO'd up, just come back again. But if I got the chance, let's next one down. You do not want to get with their daily attack. Their version of it will outright kill you unless you're having a lot of help. I mean a lot. Also, no point in splashing enemies. You already know they're weak against thunder, so why are you using water? Now, even though I had a full restore elixirs and everything, one reason why I'm only using it on Marissa, and you'll see that in a second. But first we save. This fight is like the last one, only a little bit trickier. But there's her older sister, Sororia. And this is the solo mission for Narissa, hence why I only restored her. And this is another case of where you can save, but it might screw you up. But at the same time, since you are not forced to a game over, this is a good chance to send the natural. Just another reminder. But the reason why this is tricky is because Sororia can attack pretty fast. Thus, you want to speed yourself up before you do anything else. Because you aren't reflexes. And in cases like this, it really hurts. And it's funny, you can dodge too while you're asleep. Thank you, critical hit. Now that vocal massage is an interesting little thing you may or may not want to show off. That prevents you from being hit with status effects that will make you silent. And what that does is prevent you from using spells. But everybody is getting two additional levels next to her sister. So you got a little bit of a level up on top of that. But because I have Narissa as such a spellcaster and buffer, I'm actually going to use a vocal massage on her. And in the case of Kazuka, I want him to attack. So, helps if he's not blind. Mobility is also another nice replacement for that. Before anything else happens, he needs some MP. Now, this last area is not too hard, nothing special, just some big wide spaces. You can even avoid fights a lot easier if you want, just like I did. Again, you gotta pay attention to both your map and your radar. Because look, we're already here. But this is where it really gets tricky, and this is where you really have to know what to do. Even then, you might still have a luck aspect. Do not be surprised if I lose this fight. But all I know is keep yourself as healthy as possible. Got nothing else to do but go for it. These two are very tricky together. Case in point, see the massive amount of damage he took. You need to take one of these guys out ASAP. And then you got a little bit of leeway. And that's another reason why. So whatever you do not let both Kazuka and Narissa be knocked out or the fights will fail. You know what to do, it looks easy as ever, but there's still a luck aspect as you can see. Because I could have outright got beaten down by 2 magic blasts or something along those lines. But this is a little hint of some little storyline events to come. But with that, they take their leave. Now, not only do you get your spirit water, 2 of them, you get a restore. This makes this a nice little healing point. And you have gotten a lot of money, and I do mean a lot of money. So now's a good time to start getting some stuff like bunny ears or growth necklaces. Because it's not too hard to get them now. But my suggestion is to hold off on that and just beef up your stats. Because you're going to need it. But before we even get out of here, there's one more thing. Which is why I'm actually going to continue recording this right now until I get down to the very bottom. Well, there's 2 more things now that I think about it. The one that usually happens at the end of every area. Which is doable then, but you gotta be sure to start something in, as I said before. Sometimes you just want to save MP, so you just do that if you feel like it. A little bit longer, but again, save MP. Now see, we have the upper hand in this fight, but there's still a chance that a snake might outspeed us. Oh well, I tried. Sometimes trying to avoid fights can help if you're trying to get out of an area early. Because right now I really do not want to fight. But if I have to, I'll do it. Because again, there's a chance they might drop something I can use for money. And it's not that hard to make money in this game, so you just decide to show off stuff. It should also be known that there's no set patterns for those follow-ups, or anything that pops up with the button command. If you see button commands pop up for the extra attack, then it's going to be random. You won't know until you see it. But you will only be using 6 keys for them, which will be the arrow directions, B, and X. However, if I really wanted to be spiteful, I could change the script later on and actually include the other keys. Any one of them on the keyboard. Also, I should note that these guys are actually resistant to magic. Very. Walking along the wall didn't even come on the map too much. Now this is what you get for the spirit water. 5 large all-ups and an elemental cape. Now the deal with that elemental cape, combine a guard ring with all the different brooches and that's what you got. Speaking of which, you're going to get a fire brooch. You're going to get a thunder. You're going to get a darkness. You're going to get a light. You're good with earth. You don't have wind yet. You have your water. You have ice. And you will get a dark. Do a little bit of healing. And now we are on our way to the last orbital challenge I have in this continent. Well, area, not continent. And these guys are pathetically easy at this point. By the time you finish an area, enemies from 2 areas ago is pretty much a cakewalk. And the stats going to be so much higher. Again, you might just outright kill them in 1 hit like that. But their damage is going to be pathetic. Positive way to stand that Thunderbolt about a good 100 times. Also, what just happened right there, that was Wade, meaning he didn't take an action. You're gonna love when that happens. But bosses won't do that. And that was an unintentional fail. Yes, even I screw up sometimes, even though I've made this game. Again, it's a random factor. itchy trigger finger can sometimes mess you up. Especially in the case of the character's ultimates. Do not try to screw those up, because you only get one shot. That's because I set their ultimates to only go off once. Once you use it, whether it's a miss, a complete failure, or anything else, you can't do it again. Not until the end of the fight. And this is why we came back here. We had to head this direction anyways, but the point of this video is to finish this off. You will see somebody get killed at least once, unless I'm just entirely lucky. But these two are fast. And it plays just like that one fight just now. Then the one against Narissa and Kazuka's older sibling. And even a deadly attack will not outright kill them. But that's the MP restoring skill I mentioned. Meaning no matter what you do, you will never take their MP out. But that also plays in your favor. There's a lot more money and a lot more items. And these are the first times you will probably see this. Now what these do is give you a new skill. So for starters, I'm going to just use it on Kazuka and Ray. What that skill does is important. I now have a skill that uses HP instead of MP, but it does a lot of damage too. The HP cost is about 40% of your maximum health. Keep that in mind. And then on top of that, it does a decent amount of damage. Almost enough to rival deadly attack, and sometimes more. So keep that in mind. You can only use it a certain amount of times, and you will never be able to learn that ability. You must find the item to get it. But with that, we're going to head back to heal up after this fight. And there's a chance Kazuya might die. If it happens, so what? She's already ahead on levels on somebody else anyway, so it doesn't matter if she doesn't get experience points. And right on cue. I will not be reviving her. I will save my item. And yes, she still gets CP for the time she was alive. EXP is not rewarded to her, however. And on that note, I will end this right here. This has been part 3 of Chronicles Sagas. This has been DFD, and I will see you next time.